Hey, welcome to my forever world. My name is Dai. I do weekly videos of me building in my forever world. Last week I built this machine right here for aging coppers. As you can see, I blew up a few of them and we have these oxidized copper right here. It's pretty simple to use. I just line them up like this. And once it's ready to be harvested, I just click the button here in the middle and boom, I get some oxidized copper. And in between episodes, I upgraded my gears actually. As you can see right here, I have full netherite armors, netherite tools. This is a long overdue upgrade. I've been playing in this world for 3 years now and I haven't upgraded my gears in a while. And I'm going to travel pretty far today in this episode, so I made sure I get everything prepared so that I don't die. And yeah, I have lots of things planned for today's video. So let's just head to the area that we're working on today. So we're going to be going back to the main hub area right here. So I do have this dock. It's looking pretty barren right now. First of all, I don't like the block pallets that I use at the bottom right here. And then we need to connect this port right here all the way across to this clay farm that I have, which also needs to be updated a bit. Like, it's a great building, but it needs to be updated. So we're going to be doing that as well today. And eventually tie up this whole area to make it look like an actual city. So let's just start with changing up the floors. Like these tough blocks right here, I don't like them as well. So we're going to be changing that right now. So let's just start building out the rest of the dock right here. Alright, the first phase of the dock is pretty much done right here. So let me just break it down real quick what I changed. So here are the block pallets for the floor. We have some andesite, stones, stone bricks, and polished andesite. So I combine all of these four in a random pattern to give it a bit of texture and noise. It gives it a bit more variety for a space this big. I tend to combine a few blocks to give it more depth to my builds. Same goes for the bottom part right here. I use dead brain coral, I use gravel, and I use andesite to gradually go from the darker colors to a lighter tone. And let me just go a bit far right here and show you guys what I mean. So yeah, as you can see right here, we have like a gradation going on, and I used to polish tough blocks in between it to give the pillar look. And I kept the levers because it does give a good archway to the structure. But I also added some candles at the bottom floor. That way we have some lightings on the dock going on. Right on this section right here, I added an extension to the dock. Basically, now we can actually put boats in between here, in between these spaces right here. If we just go over here. So yeah, we have some walking platforms all the way. We can place boats in between these spaces. But as you can see on the left side right here, I used a different method of building the dock. I want it to be a bit fancier than the one we have on the right side, which is why I divide the two using an entrance to the sewer system that we're going to be building up later in future episodes. And this side right here is going to be more of a fancier part of the city that's going to connect all the way right there eventually. But this is the start of the fancier part of the city, which is why the dock is built out differently. But it also gives a bit of the height differences that we need in a city just to give it more life to it. Because if you just use the same type of dock all the way across, it's going to look super boring. So yeah, that's much needed right here. And as you can see also in between these railings, we do have some lampposts, and this is not completed yet. We're actually missing one important part of it, and here it is. This is what we're missing. So let me take off my armor real quick. As you can see right now, my skin is a lamppost. So I added a data pack for my survival world, and if we die right here, we should be able to collect our heads and get some lampposts. I actually don't know how to do this in a more efficient way. Let's just see first how it goes. Maybe it's not the way to go. Okay, the moment of shoot. Let's see if the mod pack actually works or not. Oh, I can see it already. Yeah, so it works. But I gotta figure out how to do this more efficiently because I gotta get like, let's see how many we need. So we're gonna need 4 heads for each lamppost. So we're gonna need 28. So we're gonna need 28 of these blocks. So let me find a way to do this more efficiently real quick. Okay, so let's put all of our stuff in these chests right here. And get the bow and arrow. Just do this a couple more times. Okay, that should be everything right there. Let me check. Okay, perfect. We have 34. That took way longer than I expected. But if you guys know how to do this more efficiently, let me know. I'm just a builder. I'm not a redstone pro or something, but if there's like a killing chamber, that could be a lifesaver for the future. So let me just change my skin real quick. Alright, that's much better. So the idea is to put these heads right here. Now I just gotta do that for all of them. Alright, there we have it. The lamps finally completed. These look incredible in my opinion. I think they add a lot of life and a lot of detail to the city. We haven't even added the buildings that's gonna go all over the city, and it's already looking super good. So I can't wait till I fill up the whole space with more buildings. But let's talk about the other side of the dock. So like I've mentioned before, this other side of the city is gonna be a bit more fancier. We have these 2 old buildings that I have. Let's see how old they are. This was built in May 17, 2024, which is a year ago. And this was made May 12th, so it's built right after each other. So I want to preserve these 2 buildings right here, and I'll be teaching you guys how I'll be preserving these old buildings and converting them into something new and exciting. So on this left side right here, we're gonna be building a tree right on this dock. I think building trees surrounding the richer and more elegant area is gonna add more lore to the city, and also a bit more greenery that's much needed in like urban landscapes. But yeah, I've also detailed this side of the area where they can blend in with the new environment much better. Same goes with this statue right here. I've used chisel tough blocks to surround the statue so it looks much more cohesive with the whole area. So the next thing that we're gonna do, we're gonna be updating the blocks in this clay farm and also the statue right here, which houses my creeper farm. So what's inside of the statue right here is we have a clay farm. Basically, I would place a lot of dirt and it would be converted into mud packs. And then eventually they're gonna be converted into clay because I have a lot of dripstones under the stone. And then I just harvest them. And for the statue right here, we actually have a creeper farm right inside of the statue. So if we head over here to the sewer system and head in here, we have the creeper farm, which has a lot of mess apparently. So let me just clean it up real quick. But yeah, this creeper farm right here is going to be connected to the whole sewer system. So I'm going to find a way to connect these 2 buildings. And yeah, it also adds life to the sewer system that we're going to be eventually building. So yeah, let's fix these 2 buildings right now. Look at how good this looks already. This is insane. Like, comparison between the 2 is night and day, for sure. I tend to slide my FOV when I want to take a better view of how things looks, because that's how I usually make thumbnails, right? So this way I have a good idea of what the build looks like overall. And what I learned from the past few videos, don't worry, I'll address the skin after this, is that I can have a great build, like this one right here that we did last episode. But if I don't find a way to frame it well and try to make the surroundings look good, it just kind of falls flat, you know? So I'm taking that lesson to the next build right here that we have. Although it is a quite small build, I want to make sure that everything looks good in the thumbnail, but also as a frame, you know? Now, the only problem with this build right here is that this side at the back, we need something that draws people's attention to the background as well. Like the foreground right here is already super detailed. It's nice, but the background right here, it lacks depth. So we're going to be terraforming the backside in a bit. But before we do that, let's talk about what I did in this area. But before we do that, let's talk about what I did with these two buildings and break down what gives that change and what elevates it further. So right here, it looks really good from a distance because I did add some shadows and depth to it. So from afar, you can kind of see that it has shadows, that it's a part of the environment, right? Now that I'm texturing my builds more, what I had before just didn't really cut it. So I added some more darker areas and some more varieties to the colors. But it does look a bit weird up close, but right here it looks good. And I did also give it some trees to the side. I wanted it to be a bit more one with the nature. That's why I added some more trees that are growing around the statue, where I kind of want to tell the story of what this area was before it was paved into a whole pier. Like it was natural, right? There was grass all over, and that grass just kind of like grows all around the statue right here. And the trees were also part of the previous build. So I want to tell a story here that it was once a more natural landscape surrounding the statue, but it has become an urban landscape now. If that makes sense. And right here, I didn't really change much. I changed the silhouette of the window right here. The glasses right here, I give it a gray tint to it. And the sign was right under here. And it was supposed to be like a Japanese door where they use cloth as a door sometimes. And I tried to emulate that, but it just didn't look that good from a distance. Like the sign was hanging too low under the building. But I raised it up by like 2 blocks, I think, and it's much better now. Not much really changed with the roofing. It's about the same, but I added some candles and iron bar just to give it a bit more texture and variety. Especially in a building this big, we need a lot of details on the roof and surrounding it, right? Which it was lacking, which is why these banners right here on the side is really important, especially if you look at it from a distance. That it adds a lot of life to the building and a lot of detail that was not there before. And I want to say thank you to Sino for introducing these techniques to me. And I like them, but I feel like these would only work in bigger builds like this. And I'll try not to use them in my smaller builds surrounding the city. So this is specifically just for bigger builds like this. So to address the skin right here, I'm going to change the way I date my builds. So this is how I usually do it. I have a sign right here, and when it was made under it. Same goes for this building right here. We have a clay factory and then the date right under it. But on specific location that makes sense, like this one right here, this needs to be changed. While this still kind of fits with the aesthetic of the build, right? But this one right here, we need to change it up a bit, which is why this skin is going to be important for future builds as well. So first things first, we're going to have to die again. So let's get our head one more time. Hopefully the last time for this video, actually. Alright. Oh, I forgot to sleep in the bed. Okay. No worries. Let's just walk there again. Alright. Okay. So what we're going to be doing for this statue right here, I'm going to want to put this anvil right here. And then my head on top. It's in reverse. Maybe like this. There we go. And then we're going to have a sign that I prepared. Write the exact date as before. Put a statue directed on May 12, 2024. Boom, we're done. And we're going to add this light gray dye instead of the white dye that I usually use. There we go. I use a light gray dye because it looks more cohesive with the statue head and this bust right here. So in the future, we're going to be using this to indicate the build, when the build is made and who it's made by. Yes, who's it made by? Because hopefully in the future, I'd have guests over on my forever world, and hopefully we can collab on some builds where we can use their heads to indicate who built them. So that's gonna be exciting for the future. We can remove this now. We're almost done with this build right here. Like I've mentioned before, the only thing that we need to work on for this episode is that backdrop right here. Now on a previous episode, I didn't fully complete the forest and build it up here, but we're going to be introducing a different type of tree as well in this area. Because although this trees, I'm calling it Japanese maple trees. Although these trees work really well in a forest setting like this, for a cliff, I don't think it works too well. So let's get started with building this cliff right here. There we have it. The forest at the back, the cliff. Everything's looking great now. Let me just change my FOV back again. And as you can see right here, what I was mentioning before about the background, now everything looks more cohesive and alive having that backdrop right there. Now when you look at it as you pass by from here, you can see how finished this area looks, right? In comparison to what we have here, everything just looks kind of bland. But now that we look at it with the background going on and the foreground is all completely done, it feels like it's a one completed build, which is what I'm trying to do moving forward as well. I don't want to just build something pretty and then the surrounding area is just kind of like neglected, which is what I'm trying to avoid moving forward. So yeah, this is what I'm gonna try and achieve every time I build. So let me break it down real quick on what I just did here. I open up the waterfront area a bit more, so eventually if I do want to use this pocket of water right here and turn it into a lake or something, that could be a possibility. Because what's really cool about this waterfront is that it connects to a cave right here. So the sewer that we're going to be creating is going to go from there all the way to back here. So let me just show you guys the sewer again. The sewer right here is going to connect all the way to the backside, where it's going to meet just about beside the entrance of this cave. So it'll be somewhere here, and maybe we could connect the sewer all the way down there. Maybe that'll be a cool idea as well. And we could build up the dock as well at the back here, and you know, maybe it'll be a cool space for the city. But talking about the forest again, these trees are actually made by Sinnoh. Yes, the one and only Sinnoh. He's visited my world a couple of times. He has graciously given me the schematics to his trees. So I tried transitioning between my trees and his trees, since we did talk about it while I was building this, that it would be pretty cool to have a more pointy type of trees here on a cliff rather than what I have there. So it was a challenge for me to blend my trees and his trees. But I think if I add his trees a bit more in the surrounding forest areas, and then put some of my trees in this forest here, that could help blend the two areas better. But eventually the idea is that we could actually go up here and go on top of this cliff, which I want to actually show you guys a cool scenic view that we have up here. All the way up here, we could see all of the space that we have in town. So eventually, once the area here is fully developed, this is gonna be a super cool view to watch over the city. Especially because we have this field right here on the left side, which is more natural, and then the urban space in the middle, and then the more industrial space at the back. So once everything is fully developed, it's going to be super cool. But going back to the cliff, I know that I wanted to make something that sticks out a bit, and eventually this whole area is going to be mountainous and stony as well, like what we have here. Great, it's raining right now, so let's just wait for the rain to die out a bit. All right. But yeah, as I was mentioning before, when you're like sitting or standing around this specific area, I kind of want this background to stand out a bit more, which is why I created this cliff going outwards and kind of sticks out a bit, which is on purpose. This is my first time actually doing a big terraforming project. I know it's not that big, but yeah, I try to make it stick out a bit more. And a little detail that I added is that I put these red flowers here and there, so that when you're standing all the way back here, where you're supposed to be viewing it at a distance, right? So when you're viewing it at this distance right here, you can kind of see the red colors popping out a bit and trying to force your eyes to look at the back and make this area a bit more interesting, especially that it's all green at the back. So a pop of color, just a tiny bit of a color of red there, really adds life to the build. I've actually prepared this boat right here, and we actually need to grab a few more resources to finish up the build that we have here. So let's go and find a coral biome. Yo, I've actually found a turtle here. You know what's funny? I've played Minecraft for a while, but I've actually never gotten a turtle before. So I'm gonna put one of them in my boat and bring him to my base, hopefully. I don't know how you can do that. Let's see. Can you not use lead on turtles? Okay, I know they eat seagrass, so let's just grab some shears and try to lure them into the boat. Oh, that's wonderful. Okay, I think they're interested. Just gotta bring him to the boat somehow. Alright, maybe I should try to go to the shore. Yes, keep on following me. Oh, there we go. Perfect. We'll bring him back home later on. You know, despite me playing this game for as long as I have, I've actually never taken the time to actually explore the game. Like, I'm always playing it safe, where I'm always in my area. I don't tend to explore anything, I just build. But making farms all the way out here, getting these type of blocks, getting new things, that's really exciting. I wish the game offers this kind of like experience a lot more and incentivize you to like explore more, because this has been an amazing experience so far. Okay, so I just need a few of these fans. So let me just grab a few of them. Look at this area right here. There's actually a shipwreck as well next to it. Damn, look how cool this is. I'm gonna die. Okay, some buried treasure. Maybe we can explore that later on a different episode, but I gotta focus on for now. Alright, so we got a few corals, a few horn corals, and some sea pickles. This should be enough for what I need to do, just to add a bit more detail to the build that we did today. So now let's just head back and give a house for the turtle. While we're heading back, I do want to mention that I think it'll be cool to build like a town here eventually, because I do use a lot of corals in my build. So making a farm here, building a different city with a different style, that could be an interesting challenge. So that's a good idea for the future. Oh, I just realized now that we have the happy guest update, I can actually get another boat and attach it with a lead. That way we don't have to go back here and get another turtle if we want to breed them. So this could be a great opportunity for me just to grab 2 turtles right away. So let me grab some wood and then make a boat. Okay, here we go. We have the lead, we have the seagrass. Where was the turtle? It was just right here. Oh, there we go. Come here. Yes, follow me. Perfect. So I think if we just right click it like this. Oh, maybe I could just carry it with me. How's that? Oh, heck yeah. There we go. This is so funny. I think I got lost, but look at this terrain right here. This is insane. I recently updated my chunks to the newer generation. This is crazy. If I had known this was available in my world, I would have lived here instead. This is insane. Alright, we're back home finally. That took quite a while. So let me just dock the turtles real quick. So I don't know what to do with them yet and where to place them properly. So we'll figure that out eventually. But for now, let's focus on finishing the build. So the only reason I came all the way to the coral reefs biome is to get these corals for the statue right here. So let's just place them real quick. So these will definitely turn gray since it is out of the water. And that just acts kind of like a dead bush growing on top of these. And I think that adds a bit more detail to the build. And let's place one more on the shoulder. That should be good enough. Let's see. You barely can notice them, but let's try to zoom in a bit. Maybe from a distance. Let me go back a bit more. Let's see from here. All right, see, you can see a few dead bush out the top, on the shoulder, and one more on the left shoulder. Okay, for me the details matters a lot. Okay, so this is important to me. So once again, we're at the end of the video. We have a tradition here to read the comment of the day. So right here we have a comment by Food Axe Canvas who said, "Love the new build. I feel like you could use a dark oak sign for the E instead of the button. Just a suggestion." And I think he was referring to the build that I did last week. So let's just head over there real quick and test out the recommendation they gave us. So here is the build, and that is the EPP sign. As you can see, we use a button and it's barely noticeable. So let's change it. Okay, let's place it there. And let's try the chain first and see how that looks from a distance. Okay, I don't think it's any better at all. So let's see the sign. Maybe it works better. Okay, let's look at it from a distance. That might be the way to go, actually. It is a bit bright, but it does look like an E from a distance, which is what we're going for. Yeah, that could be it, honestly. Perfect. Well, thank you so much for the suggestion, Food Axe Canvas. I really appreciate and I read all of your suggestions and feedback. So if you do want to talk to me and give me suggestions or just want to hang out or talk to me, you can leave a comment down below or you can join my Discord. I'm always active there. I like talking to you guys. I like hanging out with you. And if you like my builds and you want to support what I do, I have a membership where you can download all of my builds and my world download. I have a schematic for each of them. So if that's something that you are interested in, that is probably the best way to support what I do and a way to keep me moving forward and potentially and hopefully make this my full-time job in the future. But with that being said, I want to say thank you to all of you guys. I hope you learned something. I'll see you in the next video. Take care now.